Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of our EAFC 25 RTG career mode here with Stoke City. We are returning it today off the back of a pretty decent run in the Premier League for Stoke that has seen us move into mid-table. We're still looking over our shoulder and we're not clear of relegation yet, 6 points clear of Sheffield United in 18th. We've got 14 games to go. The majority of those are going to come in today's episode, but we're kicking off with the fourth round of the FA Cup at home to Championship Millwall as we look to make it through to the fifth round. Come on the Potters. Yeah, potentially an upset on the cards here if Millwall can find a goal. Still deadlocked at 0-0, and my focus being on the Premier League and ensuring safety for next season, but there is the breakthrough, and it's the big man with his second goal of the campaign. The first came at Anfield and the second here in the FA Cup. It's been a shocking game, but that might just be enough to see us through to the fifth round. Well, that is going to do it. There is the full-time whistle. Not a very good game to kick off today's episode, but progression through to the fifth round of the FA Cup, and our priorities on survival in the Premier League, but we've maybe got an outside shot of reaching Wembley here in the FA Cup. Well, as we head back to the menus, let's find out who we'll face in the fifth round, where Stoke will be taking on Liverpool away from home at Anfield. Well, I think that's where our progression might be ending. I said we've got a potential chance of reaching the latter stages, but Liverpool away at Anfield doesn't get much harder than that. And before jumping into our next game, we've got our next batch of scouting. So let's see if there's anyone else making the cut. We're from England. We'll keep the scouting on a few players here. We've got some new lads that look like they could have some potential. And I like the look of Reece Baxter there at the bottom, but we'll keep the scouting for now. Again, from Ecuador, we've got some really good young players that will keep the scouting on. The new man, Miguel Martinez, looks pretty good. And we've got some other lads with some good looking potential. And again, from Tonga, I think we will keep the scouting on these four. Again, some really good looking attackers. And we can be a little bit more selective because we've already got some decent players in the academy. So yeah, just going to keep the scouting on those guys for now. Academy's looking pretty solid as well. We've got some really good youngsters. And the new man, Matthew Pratt, with 90 to 94 potential, looking fantastic. But anyway, jumping into our next game, it is a big one as we take on Everton at home at the Britannia. They're currently one of the sides sat in that relegation zone. We're 6 points clear of them. So this is a huge game where they could either cut the gap to 3 or we could extend it to 9. Need to get a win on the board here. Come on the Potters. Oh, how's that happen? Fofana. Oh, pegs it back. It's going to be 1. What a terrible start for Stoke. Wow, that goal really caught me off guard. I was not ready for that. Looking for an instant response with Bay. Bay, oh, it's off the woodwork. And Oscarson heads home the rebound. What a start we've had here at the Britannia as the Iceman back on the score sheet and Stoke back on level terms. Everton coming forward with their skipper, Idrissa Gueye. McNeil through the gap. Fofana, is he onside? He was, and that is a huge save by Bilal. He is so good at that. Coming out on the closeout and making himself big as he's there again to deny Fofana for the second time. Corner for Everton though. Dangerous. Kata gets up. Batch through the gap for Boz. And the break is on. And we know that Boz is quick. Good screening job by Bay. And Boz going all the way. Jordan Boz is in! And the Aussie with his second Premier League goal of the season. From one end, a big double save from Bilal. We played our way out from the corner. And Jordan Boz goes all the way to score his second league goal of the season. Well, I have to say, I think Ledesma in between the sticks for Everton really should have done better on the second goal there. And potentially on the first as well with Bay's effort. Nothing he could do about the rebound, but the first effort, he just sort of let fly off the crossbar. And that one there, again, I really think he should have got something on it. difference between the two keepers. As Bilal, I need him again, and he's there again. You love to see it, man. Another corner for Everton, but that is the difference between the two keepers, as Bilal is there again. I've seen some comments from you guys sharing the love for Bilal, and honestly, man, I absolutely love him, as that's going to drop behind for a corner again. This time Million goes up, and it will drop for Bay, who's strong. Can we hit Everton again here? Bay pushing the pace, and Gay's got no chance. Bay beats Gay, and Bay, it's 3, and we've done it again. What is happening at the Britannia? What a crazy first half of football in the Premier League, and the skipper extends our lead to 2 right at the end of the first half. Well, guys, that's going to do it. There is the whistle. A quiet second half, but one of the craziest 45 minutes of football in the first. That was just absolute madness. Game really quietened down in the second, but David Moyes' side falling to defeat and putting themselves in real peril of facing the drop. That moves us 9 points clear of the Blades and Everton as we look to ensure safety in Season 1 back in the Premier League. Yeah, as I say, guys, that win moves us on to 32 points, 9 clear of the bottom 3. And honestly, I don't think we're going down. We've got a relatively straightforward run in. We only really face 2 or 3 of the sort of traditional top sides. So I'm feeling pretty confident of our chances of staying up, and I'd love to secure a top half finish in our first year back in the Premier League. We've got a big game up next against the Saints, who are in a sort of similar position to us in that middle of the table where there's loads of teams tightly congested. We've then got a double header against Liverpool, first at home in the Premier League and then travelling to Anfield for the FA Cup 5th round. So I'd love to go into those 2 games off the back of back-to-back wins in the Premier League. Let's get that here. Come on, the Potters. Yeah, I think this is a great opportunity for us to potentially pick up back-to-back wins in the Premier League for just the second time this season, as we head into that double header against Liverpool. And we beat the Saints pretty comfortably at St Mary's earlier on in the campaign. A 3-0 victory on that day. As this man got 2, Oscarson, he sends it wide of that far post. Now the Saints come forward with Matsuki, dispossessed by Kata. Danjuma, given the nod today, does well. Got Bay with him, and he lays it off for the skipper, starting centrally today, and he's not going to miss that. Here comes Charlie Taylor down the left. Saints looking for an equaliser. Mateus Fernandes, lovely football and a big save. Bilal, and then the loose header. Could have gone anywhere with Bilal out of goal. Yep, that is going to do it as well. Stoke grind out a narrow 1-0 victory. Bay's goal in the first half is enough to claim all 3 points for a Stoke side that are romping up the table on a good little mini run here. I have to say, the more I'm using Bay centrally, the more I feel like I'm getting the most out of him. And that might be an avenue we look to use more frequently going forward, as he is the match winner here at the Britannia. Well, a good little mini run for Stoke with 4 wins in our last 5 in all competitions. Has seen us move into the top half of the table, and we've just got one eye on those European spots. It's a bit of a pipe dream. I don't think it's going to happen, but we have got quite favourable fixtures in the run-in. So with 12 to play, definitely still a possibility of Conference or Europa League football for next season, but a really tricky one up next, taking on Arne Slot's league leaders. They're currently 6 clear of Man City in second, and they beat us pretty comfortably in the reverse fixture. We then travel to Merseyside for the FA Cup 5th round in a double header against Arne Slot's side. Come on, the Potters. Salah down the right. Liverpool trying to catch us on the break. Matthew doesn't get there. Watkins does. And Watkins finds Trent Alexander-Arnold all the time in the world. And the Englishman opens the scoring as Liverpool just catch us a bit cold. It comes from our own corner, and we never really got our players back into position and recovered. And Trent opens the scoring for the league leaders. Game just starting to open up a bit now. Luis Diaz driving down the left-hand side. Plot back into the penalty area. Still Luis Diaz picks out Mo Salah. There's Watkins. Flag stays down. Ollie Watkins who scored at Anfield, scores in the reverse fixture at the Britannia, and you'd expect that would be enough for Liverpool to claim all 3 points. Ooh, that's naughty. That is naughty from Million. And he might be in trouble here. It's red. I thought straight away that he might be in trouble. Overran it. Jumps into the tackle. That was a horror tackle from Million. Well, there's the whistle. And the red card didn't really have much of an impact on the game in the end. Liverpool took their foot off the gas. And we saw out the final 15-20 minutes. But yeah, nothing less than we expected from that one. Liverpool have been the best team in the country this year, and it's no surprise that they come away with all 3 points. Well, the worst part is we've now got to face them again, this time away at Anfield. I don't think we're going to make it through here. Going to have to rotate with this game coming in midweek. And away at Anfield, not many teams go there and win. So I'm expecting that our cup run may come to an end here. Nonetheless, come on the Potters. Corner for Liverpool, swung into the near. Not cleared particularly well. Oh, Bilal gets something on it. It's not clear. Oh my goodness. What on earth has happened there? Bilal's fuming at his defence. And Mo Salah laps that up all day long. Linton finds Thompson on the overlap. Thompson finds Adam. Onto his left peg. Adam, oh my goodness. Well, what about that? What a turn up. And the big man scores at Anfield for the 2nd time this season. Well, that silenced the crowd down, didn't it? They might be up again here, though. Mo Salah, 2-1. Wow, what a crazy couple of minutes at Anfield. 3 goals in the space of about 7 or 8 minutes, and Mo Salah tearing me apart. How on earth has Diaz got out of there? How on earth have we allowed that happen? We've made so many defensive mistakes today. It's back to Szoboszlai and Salah again for 3. A 32-minute hat-trick for the Egyptian, but that all came down the left-hand side. We can't allow that to happen. Given away again. This is really poor. And look at the space. Look at the space for Luis Diaz to race into. Diaz, it's 4. This is a terrible, terrible first half for Stoke City. Game is certainly gone now if it wasn't already. We need to make sure this doesn't turn into a rout. Diomande through the gap for Linton. Keeps it in play. Picks out Vidigal on the edge. Andre Vidigal off the post, and Adam will tap in the rebound. A late consolation, but the big man does it again at Anfield. 3rd goal on this ground this season. And we will be heading out of the competition, but a much more respectable performance in the second half. In a 45 minutes where we're going to win by 1-0. But Liverpool progressing through to the quarterfinals, I think. Final 8 of the competition, and Stoke City's run will be coming to an end. Well, guys, as we're out of the FA Cup, we head into March and we have a scouting update. Not going to show you the full update because we've already had one this month, but 3 scholarships have been given out. They've gone to Englishman Adam Ward, Ecuadorian Roberto Pineda, and our first man from Tonga, Iloni Palakiko. Kiko for short. I quite like the look of this lad. So those 3 looking pretty solid in the academy. And we will jump into our next game, of course. Now out of the FA Cup, 11 games left to play in the Premier League. We're all but safe from relegation, 9 points clear, but there's so many teams in between us and the bottom 3. I don't think we'll be going down now. And there is a small, very small outside shot at European football for next season. Taking on Newcastle United here away at St James's Park. They one of the teams in that top 7. So if we do win here and cut the gap to 3, it could potentially make things interesting in the final 10. Come on, the Potters. Yeah, I think it was only in the previous episode we faced Newcastle in the return fixture at the Britannia, and we beat them by 2-0. As Isak, what a save. Still not clear, and Bilal's there again. This man is absolutely incredible. Underway in the second here. Not been particularly good game. It's been very scrappy, very bitty, lots of turnovers. Newcastle probably just about had the better of it, but we've defended pretty well in the main, and Bilal has bailed us out on a few occasions. We know how big he is, and I'm so glad we tied him down to that long contract in the summer. He's not going anywhere, man. He is what this team needs to be built around. He is absolutely fantastic as he's beaten that time, but it bounces off the upright. Pulisic pounces on the loose ball, and Phillips is there, and Diamonde does well. Tino Gordon wins the header down to Isak. Through the gap. Oh, Howler. And the flag's up. Wow. Wow. Talk about being a toenail offside. We've spoken so many times about how good Bilal is and how many times he's bailed us out. The one time he makes an absolute howler and he's bailed out by the flag. Well, that's going to do it here at St James's. Not a particularly good game. And we saw both sides of Bilal's game today. Two brilliant saves in the opening 5 minutes. A fantastic double save. And then with around 20 to play, an absolute howler which would have given Newcastle the lead had it not been for the linesman's flag. I'll take a point in this game. The draw specialists at it again, and it's another point on the board. Well, guys, I've just played our next game away at West Ham, and it was an absolute stinker. Not a single highlight worthy of showing. Another 0-0 draw, making it back-to-back. And that point does keep us 7 points clear of the bottom 3. So not quite safe yet, but we're edging it closer and closer. Tricky game up next against an Arsenal side who have struggled this season. Like us, have had lots of draws on the board, and we drew 0-0 with them in the return fixture at the Emirates. I'm hoping we might get back to winning ways here in our final game of March. Come on, the Potters. Million down the right. We've been really good defensively in this little mini run, but haven't been able to score as frequently as Bay opens the scoring. And it's one of those, we can never have both. We can never be defending well and free scoring. It's either one or the other. We're either letting loads of goals in and scoring loads, or we're defending really well and not scoring many. But we've opened the scoring here, and it's the skipper with, I believe, goal number 6 of the season. Well, I'll tell you what, we've been the better side in this first half. We are slicing through the Gunners. Kabore into Oscarson, controls and spins and finishes as well. And we've been the better team. And the Iceman's on the score sheet to double up for Stoke City. Havertz through the gap for Trossard. Trossard lets fly. And it's a wonderful goal from the Belgian to get his side back in the game. What a strike. Well, this game is by no means done, and Arsenal piling on the pressure. Oh, Bassi slides in. No, 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 no. Such a stupid challenge from me. He was never going to get there. I thought he might, but he was never there on time. Valverde just pinched it away from him. And Bukayo Saka will have a spot kick and scores to draw the Gunners back level. From 2 up, we've bottled it. Teata, Hincapié, Bakayoko, lovely football. Havertz. Well, 12 to play plus stoppage time. Arsenal really pushing for that next goal as Bassi did enough, and Kabore should win the header and does get it clear, but Gunners really pushing for that goal here. Well, there is the whistle, and we do manage to hold on to the point as Arsenal pushed for a winning goal, but feels like 2 points dropped that. We were brilliant in the first half. Bay and Oscarson with the goals, but Arsenal fought back right at the end of the first half through Leandro Trossard, and then a stupid penalty at the end. I've got to try and cut that out of my game. Love flying into a crunching tackle, but if the ball's not there to be won and you're not going to win it 100%, need to just stay on my feet. It's a needless penalty to give away and throw away the 2 points. Well, guys, we've not got a huge amount to play for at the moment. We're still 8 points clear of the bottom 3, but I don't think we're going to make a late push for Europe. So we'll play a few more to close out the episode. It'll either be 2 or potentially 3 more, and then we'll come back in the next episode to close out the season. But taking on Fulham at the Britannia, looking to try and keep our very slim chances of European football alive. Come on, the Potters. Yeah, what a season this Fulham side are having as Muniz lines one up from range. What a strike for a Fulham side that are looking for Champions League qualification this season, competing with their West London rivals Chelsea for that 4th and final Champions League spot. And with this man up top, Rodrigo Muniz, firing thunderbolts like that, they've got every chance of making it. Well, this is pretty much it for Stoke City. It's been a terrible game. Maybe time for one last attack, and Oscarson from the angle, denied, and Linton can't quite get there on the rebound. Terrible, terrible game. Fulham win it by 1-0. And it was Rodrigo Muniz's strike in the 3rd minute of the game that wins it. Oscarson with a half chance at the end. It was quite a tight angle, and the keeper did well to come out and close the angle down. But Fulham in control. They deserved the victory, and Rodrigo Muniz was a complete handful tonight. Well, guys, I think our chances of European football are dwindling pretty quickly. We're 6 points behind Newcastle in 7th, having played a game more as well. Still 7 points clear of the bottom 3, so it would take an almighty collapse for us to go down. But Ipswich have been on a fantastic run and have climbed out of the bottom 3. They were miles adrift at Christmas, and they've been on a brilliant run. But anyway, we'll close out with 2 more. 2 away games, both trips to London. First to West London as we take on Chelsea. They looking to battle Fulham for the top 4, and thereafter the points to secure Champions League football. Come on, the Potters. Yeah, we had a West London double earlier on in the season when we faced Chelsea and Fulham, as Oscarson, Bay will claim the tap-in. We'll take that all day long as the skipper gets another goal in the Premier League. 7 for the season for Bay, and that's the easiest of the lot. Dusan for Chelsea. Mitoma. Got Cole Palmer with him, might not need him. Mitoma, brilliant strike at the near post. And the Japanese wide man pulls Chelsea back on level terms. They need the win here for Champions League qualification. Madueke down the right-hand side. Bassi pulled out. Ball played inside to Palmer, and now Dusan. Vlahovic, big save. Mitoma's corner into that near post. Boz gets up. Come on, ref, where's that whistle? Lavia, lovely football, lovely football. Cole Palmer 2-1. Where is that whistle, referee? 2 minutes added on. We cleared the first corner, and he just let them play on. Where's the whistle, ref? Boz, bit of space down the left-hand side. And he rolls it into Bay. Chance here. Bay finds Danjuma at the near post, who fires us back on level terms. It's been a while since the last goal for Danjuma, but a cracking game here at the bridge, and it's 2 apiece. Vlahovic, Goncalves, Andre Santos. Santos through the gap to Lavia, and now Cole Palmer. Offloads to Lavia, and Madueke out wide. Cuts infield, and now Palmer finds Dusan Vlahovic. Big save by Bilal at the death. I mean, it was not the greatest of strikes by Dusan, kind of down the throat of Bilal, as that should be won by Bashir Humphreys, and is, and Boz will clear, and that will do it at the bridge. And do you know what? I think I might leave it there for the episode as well. A good point on the road in West London, and one that dents Chelsea's top 4 hopes. We've still got a very small glimmer of hope of reaching the European places, with our final 6 to come in the next episode before having a look around the leagues and the squad one final time as we finish up our first season back in the top flight. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll catch you for the next episode very soon. Take care, guys, and peace.